Arriving in arcades in 1992 and crashing onto home platforms in 1993, Mortal Kombat from Midway cashed in on the craze for Street Fighter II clones, although, unlike most other Street Fighter II clones, Mortal Kombat's unique hook was its digitised graphics and extreme gore. Now, when I say it hit the home market, I mean this game hit the home market. Multiple platforms saw versions of the original Mortal Kombat title, and yeah, it was everywhere, even on platforms such as the Commodore Amiga. Now, whenever you have a huge hit title like this, one thing is guaranteed to follow: clones. Many, many clones. So, in today's video, we're going to take a look at 4 clones of Midway's arcade brawling hit, and those 4 clones were all released on either the Atari Jaguar or the 3DO. No particular reason I'd chosen to focus only on those machines, it just so happened they were the first 4 that I came across when scrolling through my list of ROMs. Now, all these games are emulated, I will say that up front, but let's take a look at them. And first up, it's time to head over to the Atari Jaguar for one of the more infamous titles in its history. So, here we have Kasumi Ninja from Atari, released in 1994 on the Atari Jaguar. And boy is this game infamous. It really went straight for the whole let's do Mortal Kombat thing, and yeah, it had a few interesting ideas such as the character select area here done in 3D, but oh my good god, this game is terrible. I mean, properly shockingly terrible. The graphics look reasonable in stills, but in motion, as you can see, they're quite choppy. There's not a huge amount of animation, and frankly, given the alleged 64-bit power of the Jaguar, they're not a huge step up from what was being done on the Mega Drive and SNES at the time. Also, the game plays abysmally. The controls are awful, some of which may be down to the Atari Jaguar pad, and it doesn't have the fluidity you would want. Now, the original Mortal Kombat is far from the most fluid fighting game ever devised, but it's got a lot more flow to it than this wretched heap does. The game's audio is also not memorable. It's not bad, but it's just nothing about it is memorable at all. It's just a bad game. Now, in terms of Mortal Kombat clones, this is definitely the most infamous, but it's also probably one of the worst, and it's obvious why. But as you'll see, its competition for being the worst is quite strong, as we'll now move on to the next game. And yeah, just wait and see. Next up, we have Way of the Warrior on the 3DO. Now, this was the first game from Naughty Dog. Yes, that Naughty Dog, who, of course, went on to create the Uncharted series, amongst others. But this was where they got their start, a Mortal Kombat clone on the 3DO. And initially, it all looks pretty good. You've got some nice high-resolution graphics here, big character sprites. But again, it's just an awful game. The scaling's quite impressive, but the graphics do look rough, and again, the animation is a touch choppy. It also plays horrendously. You know, as you can see from the footage here, you can do pretty good if you pick the right character and just spam the attack button. That's, you know, not a great way to play a fighting game, really. There's no skill to it. Now, one thing I will give Way of the Warrior is its music. The music is excellent, but that's probably mostly because it features licensed tracks from the band White Zombie, and I'm a bit of a White Zombie fan. But much like the previous game in this list, this is awful. It's a cash-in, and it's an obvious cash-in. Now, it got slated at the time, and it still gets slated to this day with good reason, because it's crap. This is a crap Kombat clone. There's nothing else to say about it, but just wait, because there's more. We've got another 2 games yet, and for the next one, we're headed back to the Atari Jaguar. So, this next crappy clone is from Beyond Games and it's the Jaguar, and it's Ultra Vortek. Now, again, this is a really quick and dirty cash-in on Mortal Kombat, and you can tell the graphics, yeah, I mean, the demon in the background looks pretty good, but the actual fighters you choose from looks like a mix of actual digitized humans and what appear to be maybe stop motion characters or early CGI. It's hard to tell because they're so crap. Now, I'll give this one thing. The animation is a little bit better than Way of the Warrior, and you know, it looks smoother, and you've got that nice little reflection effect on the floor there, and the backgrounds look decent, but again, it's crap. It has no flow to it. It just doesn't feel that good, and realistically, again, it doesn't really look like anything that couldn't have been done on a Mega Drive or Super Nintendo at the time. This was not the jump into the future that platforms such as the Jaguar promised us. Sound-wise, it's mediocre, unmemorable music, sound effects are sound effects, they're there. But you know, this is what Atari were trying to sell the Jaguar with. Rather than try and get a license and have a properly done version of Mortal Kombat on the Jaguar, which could have been done quite well. You know, if you could have combined the gameplay and the gore from the Mega Drive version with the graphics and audio of the Super Nintendo version, you'd have had a great game for the Jag. Instead, you got absolute toss like this and Kasumi Ninja, which really did not help sell the Jaguar as a 64-bit system. Hell, if this game had been released like this on the SNES or the Mega Drive, it would have rightly have been criticised to Kingdom Come and back, because it is a truly terrible, terrible game. Worse than Kasumi Ninja? Yeah, I'd put it on a par. It just is a terrible game. And yeah, it's not worth wasting your time on, even on an emulator. But now, let's go to our final game for the 3DO. And now we have Shadow Warriors, also known as Shadow War of Succession. Now, again, this is another 3DO game, so you get a bit of a FMV introduction, which is frankly awful, and I'm going to skip most of it here because you can already tell that it's poorly done. That's an awful, awful title screen. And here you go. This is your first look at the in-game graphics. Pick your character and wait for it to load. And wait. And wait. But back to the graphics, because loading is to be expected from a CD-ROM title of the time. These are some impressively big sprites, although they do look quite blocky, and the animation, as with the other games we've looked at here, is quite jerky. Now, like a lot of these games, there is no real flow to how the game plays. It's jerky, it's inconsistent, things just don't feel right. And this pause here, this is purely down to the emulation I'm doing. My 3DO's in storage, I can't get it out, but it doesn't really make a difference. The game still plays terribly. You know, the sound again, it's not what you would expect. This is a game that comes on CD-ROM. It should sound superb, but this is terrible. And yeah, I accidentally pressed a different button there, and for some reason it launched 2-player mode. But I think we can safely say we've seen all we need to see here. It's a bad game with bad graphics, bad sound, bad controls. It's just bad. In fact, all the games in this video are bad, and I don't know why I tortured myself doing this. And there we have it, folks. 4 absolutely terrible Mortal Kombat clones. Now, if you've played any of these games, tell me what you think. You can leave a comment down below. You can go and comment when this gets posted over on BlueSky. All comments are welcome, positive and negative. Tell me something you didn't like. Tell me something you did like. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can make a one-off donation by my Ko-fi link. It's in the description below. You can also take out a Patreon or YouTube membership. Again, the links are down below, and you will see on screen now the names of my current sponsors, members, supporters. Yeah, we'll call them supporters. Love you guys. Thank you for your continued support. And yeah, that was 4 really crappy Mortal Kombat clones. I've been Rob. This has been H1632-bit, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.